ora, welcome to the Daily English Show. Today's guest is John. He's from Wellington, New Zealand, and he lives in Japan. This is his second stint in Japan. The first time he was here on the JET program, he was teaching at a high school in Gifu, and after a year teaching he went back to New Zealand. Then he decided to come back to Japan, this time to do something different. When he was living in Gifu, John came to Niseko on holiday to do some snowboarding, and now he's back in Niseko. This time he's living here and working for one of the companies up at the ski village called Hokkaido Tracks. I asked him what he does at Hokkaido Tracks.
At the moment I do design and website work. So I look after my company's media requirements. So that can be anything from just updating the website, text, or creating new web pages, through to pamphlets, and sometimes photography as well.
Kia ora, this is Dick News. A group of children from a swimming club in Japan thought they would have to swim for their lives after their bus became stranded on a flooded road. Last month, a group of 16 students were on their way to a swimming competition in Hiroshima when the minibus they were travelling in stalled on a road that was flooded with water. Mainichi News reported the students feared they would have to swim for their lives. So they quickly changed into their togs inside the bus and climbed out the windows. But the water wasn't as deep as they anticipated, and they managed to wade to another bus, and they made it to the competition. And that was Stick News for Monday the 6th of October. Kia ora. Did you study design at university? What did you study? Why didn't you continue teaching? You don't seem like the police officer type. Why did you choose Niseko so that you could go snowboarding? When did you start studying Japanese? Do you use Japanese at work? Do you have any advice for people who are studying English?
Actually, I didn't study. It's my naughty little secret. I didn't study design or photography. I've always been very interested in photography and design. So I've the kinds of programs, the kinds of software that I work with, I'm very familiar with. I've worked with a lot in the past, just for my own stuff, like if I've made my own website, or and I've been doing photography for probably about 10 years now, so I'm certainly very interested in it, but it's not what I studied at university. I studied very different. I studied criminology and philosophy, so two very, very interesting subjects, but yeah, I don't know, I never felt that they were subjects which would offer me a maybe a well-paying job, but I was very, very interested in them, and I'm very happy that I studied them, and I'd like to study them again one day. Well, I really enjoyed the teaching, but I also felt like teaching wasn't going to be my career. It wasn't going to be the job that I always did. So I felt that I should maybe look at doing a job which was more sort of career-based. So when I went back to New Zealand, I was looking around for that kind of job, but I never really found it. And I thought about doing the police, going into the New Zealand Police Force, which I thought would be very interesting and be very close to what I studied at university. But then I found this job in Niseko online, and I thought, I'd like to go back to Niseko. No, a lot of people say that, and probably I'm not so much, sort of that kind of personality, but, I think the subject matter, like, really interests me, like why people commit crime, or what makes people commit crime, or why we define certain things as crime. So it's kind of the overall picture, I think, is, thought it would be quite an interesting opportunity, being in the police, to, have more direct experience with it. Japan, coming back to Japan, was probably the biggest reason. I knew that the snowboarding was very, very good, but I'm not that good at snowboarding, so but certainly the other big one was the job, and I felt that the job really, it sounded like a great company to work for, really interesting young company, and it was an area that I'd personally been interested in for a long time, the photography, and I thought that this would be a good opportunity, a step into the door for maybe a career in this field. Really, I started studying when I first came. But when I first came to Japan, I think I was more interested in having fun, and I didn't really take it seriously enough. And when I went back to New Zealand, I really felt that I'd missed an opportunity. So when I came back, I felt like it was a second chance, another opportunity for me to learn more about Japan through Japanese, through the language, and I've certainly always been very interested in the culture, but the language, I don't know. I'm studying. I go to classes at the moment. Predominantly English, but certainly, all of our company's employees, we all study Japanese, and vice versa, the Japanese study English. So the goal is to have a bilingual environment where Japanese or English is able to be used in the workspace. Well, using it every day, using the language whenever you can, and watching the daily English show, of course.
What does John do? A. He's a police officer. B. He's an English teacher. C. He works for a company called Hokkaido Tracks. C. What does John's job involve? A. Selling land. B. Accounting. C. Looking after the company's media requirements. C. What did John study at university? A. Japanese. B. Criminology and philosophy. C. Design and photography. B. Before John came to Niseko, he was thinking of A. Joining the police force, B. Becoming a professional snowboarder, C. Becoming a criminal. A. What language does John use at work? A. Predominantly English. B. Predominantly Japanese. C. Russian. A. And that was the Daily English Show. See you tomorrow. Bye.